Going on YouTube, Cloverbells here back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today I'm joined by Ploppy, and Ploppy, just like all of us weeks ago, has also signed the Miraidon apology form, and we're showcasing his team today. So Ploppy, would you like to say hello to our viewers and tell us a little bit about your VGC background?
Yeah, sure. Hello, YouTube. My name's Ploppy. I've been playing VGC for about 8 years now, since 2016. And I have played strictly online tournaments with 2 international challenge wins in juniors in 2019, and I have won over 20 online limitless tours.
Excellent, excellent. And what about the results of this team? Anything notable that you want to share?
So I used this team to claim first in a limitless tour about a weekend ago, and I also went 5-1, securing my spot in a team draft league with it.
Excellent, excellent. Joe, listen, we gotta honor that, okay? We're gonna respect the achievements here. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know how this goes. Ploppy's gonna call out the shots. I'm just gonna click the shiny button. So, without wasting any further time, let's just go straight into the ranked battles. Calyrex-Shadow Rider with Flutterfish.
Ooh, Flutterfish. Again. Obviously, like, you have 2 leads here. You can go Miraidon plus Whimsicott chiyu is always good into these Tailwind teams because the chiyu is Scarf. So you do outpace most teams.
I do like Scarf chiyu, that's why I liked it myself.
And then you're able to go Miraidon here. You honestly can go Miraidon Giraffe. Bringing Giraffe sometimes into these Calyrex teams is good because Giraffe does end up winning the 1v1. So I think we can go with those 4.
Yeah, you can't take any Astral Barrage damage here. So he's got straight offense here. It's Flutterfish, Whimsicott, Calyrex. There's your 4. Then he's got the Indeedee. Now that makes me think, if there's an Indeedee, does he have the psychic move, or does he just want the terrain control for Miraidon? We'll see. He's thinking about it.
Yeah. It's hard. The terrain control wars are quite the battle in this kind of format. Obviously, with Miraidon and Koraidon being so prevalent, the weather and terrain wars are.
Got 5 seconds here. Might time out. Oh, there we go. He got it.
Walked right in there.
You have to think about it a little bit. All right, let's see his lead. Does he bring Indeedee to immediately flip the Miraidon terrain? All right. Oh, he's got Ceruledge in the trainer card. Got a good niche mon at the moment, somewhat. Show me the Indeedee. There it is. Indeedee Flutter. Cool. Okay. Now, he could Trick Room. He can do a lot of things. He can Helping Hand something. Oh, it's Psychic Seeds.
We see the Psychic Seed proc.
Okay. Do we see the booster? No, we don't. Okay.
We do not. So we can probably presume that it's probably Specs, which honestly, going for Moonblast plus Heat Wave and a Flutter main here isn't bad, because realistically, like, you're getting a good chunk of damage off, and if he does set Trick Room, you don't want to set Tailwind. So it's because you're Scarf, so you are faster.
He is gonna Tera. I think this is just straight Tera Fairy, big nuke.
Big button.
Alright, there it is. There's the Tera Fairy. Okay, glad we didn't click the dark move. Alright, so there's the there's the follow me. Alright, so we might lose the chiyu here. Alright, we do connect on the Heat Wave, so that's nice.
Best case scenario is that he does that he click D-Gleam. And so we should live this on the chiyu.
Should. Ooh! We did. Barely.
This is good because you can actually go for Moonblast Heat Wave again, provided that you hit, obviously. Obviously. I think actually you want to Moonblast the Indeedee, mainly just so that you secure the KO if he does switch, because Heat Wave looks like it will pick up the Flutter main on the second hit here.
Let me think about it. Okay, I will do this. Now my one question here is, no, he did not must be. We're Scarf. So now If he does switch, which I don't think he will do, but if he does, oh, he did. Oh, hello. All right, what's coming in? Calyrex.
Calyrex.
I would love
so
to
the Moonblast there would in theory have been good, but again, like going for the Moonblast here and just making sure that the Indeedee isn't able to set the Trick Room up is pretty big, because it might not have Trick Room, but at the same time we don't want to sack the Indeedee or we don't want to sack the Whimsicott either, right? If they were able to get a Psychic or Dazzling Gleam off with the Indeedee.
So the option there's his Whimsicott. I see.
Yep, there we go. So you can go for Heat Wave here and just Tailwind. Just get your speed control up.
Yeah, we are Scarf, so we should be able to outspeed this. Now,
yes,
if we can KO, that'd be very good. We just have to quote-unquote hit. There's the Protect on the Calyrex.
So what's actually good here is if he kills your Chiyu here, you can actually send in Miraidon and you can Encore the Protect.
Yes.
Because you remove the Psychic Terrain.
Okay, it goes into the Protected slot.
Looks like you will be going for Moonblast into your Chiyu here.
Okay.
And he is in fact Sash.
We got a crit on a Sash. Can I get a lucky burn? Let's see. Alright, he does go for the Moonblast here into the Chiyu. Okay. So, he does click Moonblast. He does pick up the Chiyu. Is it Miraidon time?
I think you do go Miraidon here, because you have a free Volt Switch into the Whimsicott, and you can kind of Encore into the Calyrex here.
Alright, I will make that play. This is the beauty of having Encore Whimsicott. So, we're going to Encore his Protect. If he switches, great.
Actually, wait. No, hold on 1 second. You could actually Encore the Whimsicott here. So, by Encoring the Whimsicott, you prevent him from setting Tailwind, and then you can Volt the Calyrex. So it prevents him from making a switch play to sack his Pokemon, to then get out of the Encore lock.
Let's see, does it pay off here? So we are gonna Encore, all right. And even if he does try Moonblast, we are gonna hightail it out of here, all right. And he does go for the Moonblast here into our Whimsicott. Okay. So not letting him get his speed control. All right. This way we get to pick up the Calyrex here. Which we do. So goodbye, Restricted.
And so an actual funny interaction there actually just happened, and I don't think you noticed, but the Moonblast went before our Miraidon even though we had Tailwind up. And so when you Encore a Pokemon into an attacking move on the previous turn and they have Prankster and they go for Tailwind, it actually gives the attack from the prior turn a priority boost.
Oh, that is true. I actually did not notice that. And now we saw it. Oh, man, we learn something new every day. Right? This is why we brought Poppy onto the channel, right? To teach. Here we go.
That is something that you do have to, keep in mind when you're using Encore, in situations like this, quite exactly, so that you aren't making any mistakes like that. So you can actually just go for the Tera Electric Discharge, and just pick up both knockouts here. And you can go for Helping Hand as well.
Sure, why not? Might as well. I think he clicks the forfeit button. But we'll see.
He probably does click the forfeit button, but might as well style on him, right?
Yes. This guy was pushing for top ranking. So,
There we go.
But we're going to send him back a couple of ranks for sure. Like 900 something. Alright, so Tera Electric Miraidon is finally able to come out here. And, of course, that gets rid of our Dragon typing, which means now we're not weak to Fairy moves. Okay, he can go for his little Moonblast if he likes, but he's not going to get a chance because we have speed, and there is the Discharge, wiping everything, including our own Farigiraf. Oh, man. Alright, there we go. And, again, you want to know what won us the game, Ploppy?
What?
We hit our Heat Waves.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well done. See, if you hit your moves, you get free damage. If you miss your moves, you don't do damage. Overbell's 2024. Alright, Dondozo and regulationG. Whew. Alright, it's been a hot minute since we've seen Dondozo.
Yeah, definitely not something we see every day.
He's got an Ogerpon-Hearthflame too. The Calyrex.
So, initially, right, Miraidon Chiyu is pretty good into the Calyrex Amoongus leads, just because not a lot of them have really good damage or ways of preventing discharge plus heat wave immediately. And so I think going Chiyu Miraidon is pretty great, just on lead. And then we can go Farigiraf, and I think Whimsicott, honestly. Whimsicott obviously is there to prevent the Dozo from Protect stalling. You can Encore it.
Ah, yes, the beauty of it.
And Moonblast is always good, especially if they Terra Dragon to try and avoid our Electro Drifts.
We'll lock it in. So is he. Okay, Dondozo with Calyrex. Double mode here. We'll see how he decides to play. I would imagine maybe parting shot into his little friend could be an idea for him, but we'll see. I want to see if it's Calyrex Dondozo lead. Let me see it.
Yeah, Calyrex Dondozo lead would be kind of... Okay, so we have the Incineroar.
He didn't dare do it. Okay, fine.
He did not. He bailed out.
Alright, so... Incin Calyrex, standard lead. What are we thinking here?
So you can go straight on the offense. It's really like, what do we think is the Terra on the Calyrex here? Is it fire? Is it water? Or is it grass? Right? Or fire, water, or grass.
Yeah,
for that matter.
Either one of the three.
I know, right? So you could go. Personally, I like clicking Terra Electric, and you can honestly just drift into the Calyrex this turn.
Ooh, we're doing it, huh?
And then switch to Farigiraf. Because the drift will secure the KO. Drift secures the KO in 2 out of 3 situations, whereas Overheat only secures it in 1 out of 3. So I think this is a pretty good middle ground.
You think he clicks Protect?
Even if he clicks Protect here, you're still pretty much fine. Or if he does live, you do have the boosted Giraffe that can, help position around.
I want to see him click Protect and parting shot the Miraidon. Let me see him make that play. Knowing
that is technically a good play, but...
Alright, he must be afraid of the Chiyu. Come on. Oh boy!
There's a Terra.
Alright, let's see.
Now we gotta pray it's not Terra Ground.
I'm gonna say Terra Grass. Oh, it's Terra Fairy!
Okay, cool.
Wait, I've never seen that.
Yeah, so I think he was covering for the Dark Pulse or Draco Meteor. So a lot of Miraidons, yeah. So this will just go ahead and knock out the. This is just an Oko.
Let's see. You never know. He might have an AV. He
might have a Assault Vest, like the Japanese techs.
Hey, listen, that was a Sword and Shield thing. Oh my god.
Ice just off the shield. And we get the disconnect.
Yeah, love to see it. There it is, folks. That is how you style on a Calyrex-Ice player. Beautiful. Now we have the thumbnail. We have the clickbait. Miraidon makes player rage quit. Whew.
There we go.
Jesus. I mean,
yeah,
he could have played it out. He could have did something. I don't know what he could have done there. All right. Ooh, I haven't seen this one. We've got Dialga-Origin with a Gloom. Oh boy.
Yeah, the Gloom is quite interesting.
Yes. No Dugong.
I mean, but thankfully, right? Yeah, the Gyarados is also interesting. I mean, presumably we think it's probably some sort of earthquake, telepathy kind of thing.
Excellent. Yes, for sure.
The Gloom is kind of scaring me. I don't know if Gloom gets Rage Powder or not. I'm inclined to believe it doesn't. So I feel like Blood Moon is always good here. Blood Moon is always good in the mirror. Though we do have to be worried about the Chiyu Flutter main lead.
You want to lead the Blood Moon? Is that what you're saying?
I think going Miraidon is pretty good here on lead.
Okay.
Obviously, Miraidon is pretty good in most leads. Honestly, you could go Chiyu Miraidon and just go straight offense, expecting a Trick Room mode, and then bringing the Ursaluna for a Giraffe in the back.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll stick with the first 4. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna lock in, and we'll see what it is. Do you think he brings the Gyarados here?
I don't think he brings the Gyarados. Just because it doesn't seem... I mean, he could. It definitely intimidates pretty good against the Iron Hands. But I don't think... I don't know. He might be a little ballsy for that.
It's Flutterfish as the lead.
Flutterfish. No.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll see if it boosts your speed.
Yeah, I'm checking for all these interactions here. Okay, it looks like we have the faster Chiyu, more or less, I think. And there is the Flutter booster. Okay, is it going to be speed? It is speed.
Okay. So, I mean, Icy Wind is pretty kind of obvious. He could just go for the Boom Blast, however, because you do have the Bees of Ruin on the field.
Yeah, why not? I would.
I know, right? You could go for Tera Electric and Volt Switch here, and just kind of get the Flutter Mane off the board.
Okay.
And then I think just going for Heat Wave, just get simple damage on the board.
Sure, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Would he really go straight for this Moonblast here? I mean, might as well, right? But we also don't know his bulk investment. But I think this can kill. But we'll see. All right. And I know that we do have the faster Chiyu. There's the Icy Wind, and you called it, Floppy. Okay. All right. And now does he nuke the Miraidon with the Chiyu over here? It is. Oh, there's the Dark. Oh, that's damage. We do connect on the Heat Wave. A little bit of chip. Right. And we get a crit on the Flutter. I was like, that is insane damage. How did... what did... Okay, I was going to say that. I don't remember Chiyu doing that much.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than I remember.
We crit him right back. But he was already super low. So, we're going to pivot out. And what do you want to bring in exchange?
I think we go Blood Moon here, just because you don't really want to be taking Dark Pulses with the Giraffe.
For sure.
Ideally.
Okay.
And he doesn't really have a good Heat Wave switch in. And since it looked like sash damage, that definitely wasn't specs with how little it did. So it's either sash or it's Scarf.
Does he bring in the Dialga now is the question.
That is the question. But I think even if he Trick Rooms, we're still in a pretty good scenario because then that lets the Blood Moon have a little bit more free reign.
Okay, he does have the first time we're seeing this one in ranked battles. Yeah, I gotta say, oh, that thing is big. Jesus.
So you can actually go. Ursaluna will live at Dark Pulse, so you can go for Earth Power here, and Heat Wave.
Do you want me to EP the Dialga or the Chiyu here?
I think it's Dialga, because the Chiyu isn't really anything crazy threatening, and you don't really want to let Trick Room go up.
I think we might see a Tera here, but we'll see what he does. Oh, okay, he's got Protect.
Just a simple Protect.
Okay.
They usually don't run Protect, so that's a little shocking.
But he had it. Okay.
He did, unfortunately. The CTS got him.
Okay. A little bit of Heat Wave there, a little bit of damage. All right, Earth Power going into the protected slot there. So, Blood Moon in some trouble.
I mean, here we can obviously Protect feels kind of obvious, but it's still pretty consistent. Just going for Protect Heat Wave. I mean, you could also, in theory, you could just sack, and just let Ursaluna go down in case he tries to switch in Ursaluna this turn.
You want to do that?
You could just go for an attack. You could just Earth Power Heat Wave again, because then you would be getting the Farigiraf in and able to. So he's okay. So he isn't locked into an item. So he's Sash presumably.
Yeah.
You should live a Draco. And if he doesn't set Trick Room, then you just reverse the Trick Room.
Hey, we get a burn.
Nice little burn for some chip damage.
There is the Trick Room. Is it Farigiraf? Or is it... Has to be. Okay. We're bringing in the Giraffe?
Definitely bringing Giraffe here.
Yeah, we need to.
Obviously. Yeah, with your Chiyu being slower here, it's actually quite good because I believe Helping Hand Heat Wave picks up both targets here.
Ooh.
So we can go for Helping Hand Heat Wave, or we can go for... We could also reverse the Trick Room, but I think Helping Hand Heat Wave is just consistent overall because you are slower than their Chiyu.
Exactly. I think this is the better play. Let's just we just have to keep hitting our Heat Waves, right?
Exactly.
We have the inherent Clover luck on the channel, +1 accuracy here. All right. Dragon Pulse?
Yeah, and Dragon Pulse definitely is not KOing. Does a lot of damage, but it's not KOing.
As I say that, well, we do take out the Chiyu. Alright, unfortunate that we did miss the Dialga there, so... Law of averages.
Dialga. I think unfortunately we needed to hit the Dialga.
Alright, he does.
Yeah, he's gonna coming in.
Okay, I will check the Trick Room turns. However, yeah, it's 3 turns.
You can always go for Trick Room here. I think you always just reverse it. And then you just pray that he protects or he misplays, and go for the Heat Wave here.
Yeah, we're in a tough bind here. That's probably what I expected. There's the Earthquake. There's the Telepathy. This is the way to play the Dialga. You have to partner him with an Earthquake user like an Ursaluna. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We did miss the Heat Wave, and that lost us the game. That is the game we play, ladies and gentlemen. One miss.
That is the Chiyu, unfortunately.
One miss, and it's all over. Alright.
Yeah. I think if we hit Heat Wave there, you pick up Dialga, and you, obviously, you end up forcing that, 3v1, potentially getting your Trick Room up. Though you did die to Earthquake, so I'm not entirely sure if it did matter.
Yeah, there's still, like, plenty of turns of Trick Room left, so... Anyway, I will scoop here. Dialga able to claim this one. I do always like, Dialga, Vincent, Amoongus, Ursaluna. I think that's a good 4 if I had to make a Dialga team.
Cool.
World Champion Pachirisu. Hey, and the mirror
Interesting choices here
with a Wo-Chien. This is secretly Sagen Park's alt account. You're playing a former world champion, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Ploppy, what do you have against Pachirisu?
So, I think Ursaluna Whimsicott is actually a really good lead here. It threatens damage off onto almost every single Pokemon between Hyper Voice, Earth Power, and Blood Moon. Especially with that Tailwind boost.
That is a Heatran.
I think honestly, you can go just Chiyu Miraidon in the back. So this is actually a good case of where Dragon Pulse on the Miraidon is actually pretty good, because in scenarios like this, like a lot of these Pokemon, you can just dish out Dragon damage into, for pretty free.
Yeah, I'm just like looking at his little Heatran over there. Like I have not seen that thing in like a couple of regulations there, and it's on a team with Pelipper. So I wonder what are we doing here? There's got to be something here that I'm missing. I could have sub, but I don't know what we're doing with the Heatran here.
I wonder if it's Tera Ghost as a way to beat Miraidon.
Okay. Alright, let's see. Alright, what's the lead? It is Miraidon, and it is Landorus.
The Miraidon Landorus. Okay.
That's not fun. There's no Pachirisu. Okay. What are we thinking
so there's
here?
2 options here.
Oh.
You can go for... Ooh.
Whoa.
Electric Seed.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so the Electric Seed variants are usually Calm Mind. So that means he has Dragon Pulse and not Draco Meteor.
Okay.
So we can go... There's 2 plays here, right? We can go for Tailwind and just straight up Blood Moon the Landorus.
Okay.
Or we can just go for Terra Normal Hyper Voice and just dish out a bunch of damage.
Ooh. Well,
there's also the play where we just Tailwind Protect and try and see what he goes for.
I wanna be aggressive. I wanna take out the Landorus here.
So we could just go for Tailwind and Blood Moon into the Landorus here.
Do we Terra or do we not?
I don't think you need to Terra. I think it just KOs normally.
Alright, let's see it. I just want to see what he does here. Alright, there's the Tailwind here. There was a pause. I was wondering, what the heck is this?
Yeah. So no Terra, which is good. No Steel Terras.
Wow. Straight.
Yeah, that should just, yeah.
Alright, well, there goes the ground type for our Miraidon.
Miraidon looking a lot better in the endgame here.
Yeah, so I just want to get rid of the ground. Oh, Calm Mind! Alright. There it is. Now he's boosting. But what does that do to
It is
ground
slightly
type?
concerning. It's a little slightly concerning, but I think we should be alright.
Okay, we do have the Earth Power play next turn. He could protect, but what is this? Is this Pachirisu? No, it's Heatran. Another ground weak. Interesting. Did we just encore him?
What did we bring in the back?
We brought our restricted and a
Miraidon cheap. Okay.
Oh, Heatran.
You could go for Moonblast here.
Okay.
Honestly, I kind of like keeping him honest and just going for Moonblast and then Earth Power into Heatran.
Oh, you were doing Moonblast into the Miraidon, you said, correct?
Yeah, Moonblast into Miraidon and then Earth Power into the Heatran separately.
Okay, he's got to Tera something. Which one do you think he's going to do?
I think he'll probably Tera Miraidon here, just because Miraidon's more of a win con.
It's got to be Terra Grass Heatran. There it is. Oh, Terra Fairy.
Oh, it's Terra Fairy. Okay.
Every time I keep calling Terra Grass, they're going Terra Fairy. Alrighty. So Heatran will survive here. Alright, Miraidon does protect.
Okay, the Miraidon does protect. Okay. Okay, that's good. That means that they don't get another Calm Mind off. And actually what we can do is we can go for Moonblast Earth Power next turn if our Ursaluna lives for the turn.
Yeah, let's see what he's got
Which
here.
we should have a heat. But Magma Storm is a issue.
Yeah, he's Japanese. You know they always run these little Magma Storm. There it is, the Magma Storm.
There's the...
Oh!
This isn't actually entirely bad, because you can go... Actually, you can go Chiyu here. And you can go for...
Lefty.
You can actually go Chiyu here, and you can go for Terra Ground, Terra Blast into the Heatran here. And go for Earth Power into Miraidon.
Now, I don't think that'll kill him, though, because he does have a Calm Mind. Do you care?
Oh, you are right. I think going Chiyu still here is pretty good, because it gives us that boost to our damage.
Okay.
And I actually do think that Earth Power will kill the Miraidon because of the Chiyu boost. So I think you can go for Terra Ground, Terra Blast, into Heatran, and just get good damage off, and then you can just go ahead and Earth Power the Miraidon.
Okay, I am gonna do this. Does he switch? Did he bring Pachirisu? I'm still waiting for it.
If he did bring Pachirisu, it will be dead to this, dead to the double ground.
All right, he's got to bring it. We brought a Miraidon. He has to bring it.
He had to have brought it, right?
Otherwise, why is it there?
We don't see any switches.
All right, no
That's
switches.
Always good.
He's staying in. And, you know, Heatran can protect. He was running a lefty set.
True, he can protect. That is very true.
Okay, let's see it. There's the protect.
Okay.
Okay, now, so we're gonna obviously not do damage here, but we can hit the Earth Power into Miraidon. Now, the question is, does he have bulk? Will the Calm Mind save him? Survey says it does save him.
Just barely, wow.
Oof. You know what that means?
That's that.
Parabolic Charge!
And we do see the Parabolic Charge, however, it will not do anything because we do have the Terra Ground.
Alright, doesn't affect Chiyu, and it doesn't affect the Ursaluna. So what does it do for him?
Nothing.
Alright, but our Tailwind is running out, and you know...
so we should...
He's gonna protect again, maybe.
I believe the best play here is actually to go for Terra Blast into Heatran and Hyper Voice.
Yes, I do like this play, because this covers everything.
Yes.
Alright. He's out. There it is. Is it Pachirisu time?
Yep. It covers the Pachirisu switch.
Oh, come on. Do it. Oh, that's not Pachirisu.
Oh, it is the Wo-Chien.
Oh, no. That is not what I want to see.
I wonder if the Wo-Chien is a Soul Fest. That is the question.
Alright, well, we're locked into a little quote-unquote ground one. But now we have this pin into the Miraidon next turn. Because, yeah, alright. This will do some damage. Alright, and we always have the Blood Moon nuke.
I think Blood Moon kills it, actually. Based off how much the Hyper Voice did, I do think Blood Moon kills the Wo-Chien. So you can go for Terra Blast into Miraidon here.
Yep.
And then just go for straight damage into the Wo-Chien.
Just nuke the heck out of it. Alright, here it is. Now he did not expect the scarf on the Chiyu, but he got the Rude Awakening. There it is. Miraidon gone to a fish. Alright. Escargot is on the menu. Alright. Blood Moon comes out into the snail. There it is.
Wow. I will take out the one knockout.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you bring Pachirisu. If he brought it, this wouldn't have happened.
He would have had some redirection.
Yeah, he could have did something there. All right, here we go. It's back to Heatran.
All right, now we can just go for Tera Blast and Hyper Voice, and the game should be over.
Oh yes, there's only one button he can click from here, and that is the battle was canceled button. That's it. Pachirisu did not come. All right, folks, so now we're back here in the Pokepaste section of the video, and now Ploppy's going to tell us how he built the squad mon by mon, especially his EV spreads here. So, Ploppy, thanks for joining us today. How did you build the team?
So, I had seen Rajan and Aaron obviously do well with a very similar team. Having the, Miraidon-Blood Moon, Farigiraf kind of core with the Whimsicott. And so I took some inspiration, obviously with the Blood Moon and the Whimsicott spread being the same spreads, just because they're pretty simple. The Blood Moon spread obviously being max speed, so that you're able to outspeed Calyrex,
yep.
And Tailwind. And it just kind of just is there to do chunks of damage, as you guys saw in the previous games. Whimsicott, pretty similar. The bulk, it doesn't seem very effective, but sometimes it comes in clutch in small scenarios where maybe you take, just a little bit less from fake out and you can live a double up or something like that. And you don't really need the offense, as it's a pretty, Whimsicott isn't doing much damage. It's mostly there just for the Tailwind and Encore support. And so we saw Miraidon. And so Miraidon actually is interesting because I'm not running, Rajan and Aaron and a lot of other people are running modest Miraidon. And so I took my own spin on it, and I actually went timid. And so timid allows me to actually outspeed modest Miraidons, as well as adamant Chempals, and some of those Flutter mains who are speed creeping, who are going timid and just enough that they can outspeed at 188.
Exactly.
So you hit the 189 benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
So this is intended to basically win the Miraidon speed ties, and it also lets you get better pivots against Chempal and stuff. So they're not able to ice crash you. Right, a lot of people's lines into Miraidon is just hoping their Chempal's faster, and this completely invalidates it.
Exactly. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I mean. And the mirror is important, right? And if you're just faster than two of the top 10 that you're supposed to be weak to, then it just helps a ton of. I've also been a good fan of timid Miraidon here. Like, you have all the damage, with Chiyu and the specs and the terrain and the Tera. Do you really need any more, right? So let's get a little speed in this game. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's zero good. And so, it's a similar concept to back when I ran Clear Millet Chempal. And so, you're able to still do good chunks of damage while giving yourself just enough speed to outspeed opposing Pokemon. In the bulk, while it doesn't seem super important, like you're like, oh, just go, max. And there's no concept in doing that. I mean, there is, but you ideally don't want to play speed tie wars, and you don't want to play guessing games. And so having the knowledge that you're guaranteed faster than a certain speed tier, but then most likely slower than all other speed tiers, is really good knowledge, especially on a Tailwind team like this. And so having the ability to, still play faster than some of those Pokemon that are very important, but also be able to play under the Trick Room, is quite important. So, it gives you some bulk to work around with as well, which, lets you live some hits that normally you wouldn't live, or, a clutch survival every now and then. And one of these was actually a quite interesting one, where I actually won the finals of the Limitless Tour because my Miraidon lived a Grassy Glide on 4 HP, because I had the extra bulk. So small situations like that. And you very well could go max speed, but I don't see the point in it, as I prefer not to win. I prefer not to play speed ties. And have full knowledge of my speed interactions within a game.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you said, the Chiyu is there, so you don't have to go modest to pick up a lot of these knockouts, because you have those Beats of Ruin boost on the field.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I do want to ask about the Iron Hands, because that's also been picking up on the Miraidon teams. We didn't bring it to any of our games. So when would you ideally bring the Iron Hands? And they also, some of them, they have Ice Punch now, for the ground typing that wants to come into, Miraidon games. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, so the version that I used in the Gritty Tour actually had Ice Punch. And I wasn't really clicking it. And I was being put in a lot of positions where Iron Hands wasn't doing a whole lot of damage. It wasn't the offensive piece that I wanted it to be. So I still liked Volt Switch because having double Volt Switch on a team like this allows you to reposition on your board so effectively. Miraidon being able to do so much damage with the Volt Switch. And then Iron Hands, while it doesn't do a crazy ton of damage, you're still dishing out, sash breaks. You're doing like half to Pelipper, but that's a different story. But you get another pivot. Sometimes you can get Miraidon off the field and back on the field in the same turn with a slow pivot. So stuff like that. So I really liked the Volt Switch, and I chose Assault Vest over Clear Amulet, like a lot of variants were running, just because I like the extra bulk. And so Iron Hands is meant to help into the Terapagos matchup.
Okay.
And so we didn't see any Terapagos, but it's mainly intended for that matchup.
I see.
Yeah, and it also allows the team to have a sort of trick room mode, right? Iron Hands Farigiraf is a combo we've seen for series now, and they pair quite well with each other, and especially with this new added boost of Miraidon, boosting both with the Electric Seed and the Quark Drive. Iron Hands can just become a monster under the trick room and sweep entire teams by itself, especially to some of the rain teams like Calyrex Rain. It's pretty good into because you do have the Terra Water. And the Electric Seed foul play is pretty good against those kind of teams.
Yeah, and I would always say in like some of our previous videos, we Iron Hands for a while, like for a good year, was like top 3 usage, right? And then we were playing it without an ability, and now you get an ability, right? So
exactly.
It's kind of funny how like okay, now you can get an attack boost. Now you can do more damage, right? For a while you didn't have one, but now you can do it. So I always still said, once Miraidon comes locked and loaded, I do think people will experiment with it yet again. And it has some good results now recently. So we'll see how that looks heading into NAIC. But yeah, what's the Chiyu spread here? Are we just hitting the max speed, then hit the benchmark and modest, and then leftovers? Or is that calc for something?
I mean, pretty much. It's pretty simple. So Chiyu doesn't actually have to go max speed modest. Modest max speed, you hit 152. A lot of people choose just go 150, so that's 236. So it gives you like 16 extra investment. But I chose, just go the extra a little bit. Because ironically, it actually does hit a benchmark in itself of 152, which is speed creeping everyone who's going 151 for those Urshifu.
The Urshifus, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so ironically, some Urshifu have actually been going jolly, where they're going jolly and they're hitting 1 point faster. So they're going 151 with some extra bulk. And so this allows you to, win those wars. You're speed tying. Like I said, I don't enjoy speed ties, but in this scenario, you're kind of forced to play speed ties against Chiyu. And so, you're like, okay, I'll take the speed tie against modest Chiyu. And then obviously that you're not going to win the timid war. So then you can use that to your advantage. But I think, modest is really good because of the amount of damage it dishes out. And especially since you don't have specs anymore, that extra damage just goes so much more. Especially on those Terra Blasts and, Dark Pulses like we saw. Grant's Dark Pulse OHKOing a Calyrex. He was running the Scarf. And he has a similar spread to mine. That kind of basis. It's just the extra damage is so crucial.
How about the Whimsicott over here? I see it's sash, but it has 44 defense.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, this is just Rajan spread.
Okay.
And so it again, Whimsicott, like the bulk isn't crazy. I believe it's for like Surging Strikes rolls. I don't remember the exact calc that he had mentioned. But it's come into play a couple times. Same as like the Miraidon bulk. It's not anything like super important. It's just kind of generalized. And so, you kind of just it gives you like some interesting roles to live certain things that are just kind of general. You take less damage from like fake outs, U-turns. Sometimes you live double ups. Normally you wouldn't with the extra bulk, that kind of stuff. And the sash is just that there to kind of just sit back on. If you don't live a hit, you can hide behind the sash.
Fair. The Farigiraf, now I do know the bold investment there. Now there's been some change there, as you mentioned. For me, when I do Farigiraf on teams like this, I like the bold 236 benchmark here, or relax. So what's the idea for this investment, and as well as 92 spit F?
So it's a mix of Aaron Trailer and Rajan spread actually. Okay. And so Aaron Trailer has the 204 164 benchmarks.
Okay.
Which are just above the defense bump and 204 HP. And so I really liked, and then Rajan has the 236 like you had mentioned, but he has the 92 special defense and then a 180 HP. And so I did some messing around just with testing around and playing around with different investment marks. And draft is hard because, especially in a format like this where you have Calyrex-Ice and Calyrex-Shadow, and you have so many different Pokemon that have so many different damage benchmarks, it's hard to, like Rajan stated, team report, you can't bring Farigiraf to every matchup, right? And so you specializing Farigiraf in one department, makes it way better, right? Bringing Farigiraf and making sure that it does its job into one matchup versus doing a bad or moderate job into multiple matchups is way better, because you want it to do one thing versus multiple. And so I took that into consideration, but at the same time, I wanted it to do a little bit more. And so I gave it a little bit of speed investment because Aaron and Rajan had 0 speed, and I wasn't a huge fan of that because it felt like I couldn't use it in Tailwind. And so we saw in that last game, right, where we brought chiyu Miraidon leads, and we had Farigiraf Whimsicott in the back. And that's something that I like to do often because of the support that Whimsicott and Farigiraf give. However, having Farigiraf being slower than a lot of things is pretty bad. And so the 28 speed hits you 168. And this is 1 point faster. Yes, space 100s. And so it's a pretty basic benchmark to hit. You outspeed a lot of Incineroar. I believe you outspeed 36 speed Incineroars. It's something around there.
That's my Incin.
the most common Incineroars, right? You outspeed those naturally. So you can get those Tera Blasts off for consistent damage. And so obviously you just have the 4 left over. And so I like the 204 HP benchmark just because I forgot what it hits. But it's basically just kind of general bulk. And even though I said that Rajan said not to do that, I felt like it was a good mix of doing its job where you have mostly defense investment, but you also have just a little bit of special defense investment to live some of those hits that otherwise you wouldn't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand it completely, of course. And, again, under Tailwind, if you can outspeed another Chiyu, that can make a difference. Especially with a Tera Fairy, if the game calls for it. All right, so great squad, great investment on most of these mons. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the rental where you guys can try out this Chiyu Miraidon team. All right, so there's the rental, folks. So give it a try. Let us know how you do. Ploppy, once again, thanks for joining us here. Now, in hindsight of the tournament and just where we are right now in regulationG, is there anything about the team that you would change right now?
I mean, there's a couple things. The Iron Hands Tera is definitely up for debate, as well as its set. As we had mentioned before, Ice Punch. You can run Ice Punch, you can run Heavy Slam, you can run, there's quite a few. And Tera Grass and Tera Fire have seen some popularity. So I think Iron Hands is probably the biggest change, maybe. Other than Dragon Pulse, maybe Draco Meteor. But I think the team pretty well fits together. And there's not a whole lot of change you can do to keep it consistent. But I think Draco Meteor over Dragon Pulse, and then obviously there's some flexibility in the Iron Hands.
Yeah, for sure. For me, when I use the 6, I like Grass on the Iron Hands, and I am a Meteor kind of person. When it comes to Miraidon, just one big giant dragon nuke. That's always very satisfying when you can get a KO with that thing. Of course.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so Floppy, is there anyone you want to shout out before we go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the people that I worked with on the team, specifically, my buddy Nosnort, and my buddy the Big Mackie, they helped me through, finalizing some of these EV spreads and making sure that they were optimal for the tournament. And then obviously the tournament hoster, Gertie.
Oh, I want to go back to one of those. Did you say the Big Mackie?
The Big Mackie.
Oh, the Big Mackie. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that very. Okay, so like McDonald's or wait, okay, no worries there. All right, so great job again, folks. We're continuing the series, so we'll be back with yet another special guest in the next one. So peace out and have a good one.